Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to continue our discussion on the packages of quant mode performance analytics in order to generate your returns, whether it's simple or discrete. Another name for simple is discrete returns, or your log returns, also known as continuous returns. Okay, we learned the basic formula for simple returns, which is just the price at time t divided by price at time t minus 1, log 1, minus 1. So that's the simple returns. The log returns, on the other hand, is the log of the quotient of price at time t divided by price at time t minus 1. Okay, then we said the two packages that are of prime importance to us are quant mode and performance analytics. With quant mode, we're able to download data, whether coming from several sources like Yahoo, Fred, Federal Reserve, St. Louis economic data, and then other APIs like Alpha Vantage, Wanda, etc. So there are many sources that we can download data. For stock prices, Yahoo is the best place to go. Okay, so we said that quant mode has this function get symbols where we are able to get stock prices from Yahoo. This is the default source is equal to Yahoo. If we don't write this, it will still run. Okay, but we have to identify the ticker symbol, AAPL for Apple. Then identify the from and to, start and end dates. If we don't specify from, it will, if you download it now, it will start with 2007, 01, 02. Okay, 02 because there was no trading on 01. And then if you don't also identify up to when, it will download the latest trading day, which is 9/22, yesterday. Okay, and then the auto.assign is equal to true here is also uh, this is default. Okay, if you're not assigning it any name, then you can just remove this. However, if you want to give it a name other than the one that you what happened here? Other than the one class that we than the default ticker symbol, let's say AAPL. Okay, and mind you, class, R is case sensitive. No? Make sure that the ticker name is capitalized if it needs to be capitalized. Okay, but usually ticker symbols are capitalized. And then, class, we have to put here auto.assign is equal to false because we're assigning a name to the object and not Apple. Okay, so the result of this class, the Apple object, is an extensible time series object. An extensible time series object, as we learned, is a special type of uh, data frame, a special type of data, because the index is not the counting are not the counting numbers, but it's the date. It's a date, and we said that this object, this XS object, can even accommodate it can accommodate hours, minutes, seconds. If your data has that information, okay, it can accommodate that. Okay. Okay, where's my dami ang bukas, sorry. Where's module number 2 here? Okay. I'll delete this first. Okay, so we can actually also, we can subset, we can create an object that is a subset of your XS object. Here, we would want to get Apple adjusted. So you do that by just creating an object, a name, and then use the dollar, okay? Apple and then dollar, and it will give us the variables that are inside Apple. So this will create now an object which is adjusted close, Apple adjusted close. Okay, we already did that. Okay, let me just print that. Okay, there. Adjusted close. Now, why do we need to access only one data, one column, one variable? It's specifically useful for dealing with a univariate time series. When you compute using quant mode the returns, you'll need just one, okay, just one column. Otherwise, if you have so many columns, then I ask you to check what happens. I hope you have checked already. That will form part, that will be a question that I will ask in your face-to-face quiz. Okay, and then we use, in order to compute the daily returns, class, we said that quant mode has even period return, monthly return, weekly return, but we're using daily return precisely because our data is daily, and then we would like to get the daily return. So we identify here the object that we want, okay, and then the type is arithmetic, okay. It's the same as simple or discrete. They're the same names. So we did this last time, okay, and we said that when we run this using daily return, okay, it will generate this object. However, okay, it's lagging, sorry, class. Okay, let me just access this again. Here, Apple Simple Quant Mode. There, okay? We said that when we use daily return, it will automatically give a value of 0 to the first row. Now, this is technically, this is wrong because this value, okay, the stock value here, it does not have any predecessor. It does not have any prior value. So you cannot actually divide it by a prior value. But quant mode defaults into a 0. Okay. If you really want to get the returns of this, you have to get the previous value and then divide the value here with the previous value and then -1 to get the simple return for this period. Okay. So that's a, let's say, that's a quote unquote inaccuracy as far as the quant mode package is concerned. All right. So we can also get the log. Okay. I'm not going to run this class. We can get the log by using type is equal to log. This one, type is equal to log class. So same object, Apple adjusted close, and then Apple, we're creating this Apple log returns. Okay. Then here type is equal to log. Here, previously we also generated the simple returns using the return that calculate from performance analytics. And we learned that the difference between the Q mode output and the performance analytics output is that performance analytics will generate the NA value. And then that's correct. That's correct because there was no previous value. Okay, so if you're going to use the PA class, you'll have to remove this. Okay, or you can generate this. You said that you can generate the PA here. Where's that? There's a lot here. Okay, you can also, of course, remove this performance analytics. And then you can write here na.omit. right? Okay, so let's move on, class, and enough. I think enough with that. And then we went to descriptive statistics, class. Now, in your paper, since you're going to extract some data, okay, I expect you to do some simple descriptive statistics, like measures of central tendency, okay, which are your mean, median, mode, measures of dispersion, which are your standard deviation and your variance, and measures of shape, which is skewness and kurtosis. You don't just have to compute, class, you have to discuss a bit. I'm not expecting a full-blown discussion, but some sentences about about the data, class, because that's what you want. Okay, you have here the formula for you can put this in your paper, okay, to show the formula for the standard deviation if you feel that you might need to put that there. Okay, if you feel that it's not needed, then you should not put that there. The the calculation for, let's say, for skewness and kurtosis will be from the Moments library. Okay, the others are from, it's a basic R, as mean, median, okay, mean, median, standard deviation, variance. This is what I was saying class a while ago, that you have to remove the NA value, because if you don't remove the NA value, then any calculation that you'll do on that data will return an error term, error message, an error output. Unlike the quant mode, because quant mode assigned a zero value, okay? Zero value, although we said technically that's not equal to zero. Okay, and you have measures here of variance, standard deviation. Range is just the maximum minus the minimum. Okay, these are very simple, and I won't elaborate on this anymore because these are topics that's not the coverage of this subject. We're just learning it via R, but the calculation, the interpretation will be your responsibility. There's a function, table stat summary, from performance analytics. You can use this, and then it will generate a summary statistics class of, okay, number of observations, number of NAs, if there are any, minimum value, quartile 1, or this is P25, P50, quartile 2, arithmetic mean, geometric mean, standard error of the mean, and then you have here the lower confidence level, upper confidence level of the mean, variance, skewness, and kurtosis. For kurtosis class, make sure that you interpret this correctly. You have to subtract it by 3, and that's described here, class. Okay, I described it here. Okay, I think above. In the formula for kurtosis, here. Sorry, where's the formula for kurtosis? Here, class. Here. So when you compute for the kurtosis return using kurtosis, this is from the Moments package of the asset, the log returns of Apple, and you have to subtract it by 3. Okay, the computation here, this one, okay, this is the full kurtosis. When you interpret this class, you have to subtract by 3, and I'll leave you to hopefully you still remember your basic stat. Okay, it has something to do with the normal distribution class, so that's my clue, class, why you subtract it with 3. All right. Okay, so let's now go to visualization. So this module is descriptive financial analytics and visualization. So we're going to learn how to plot line, candlestick, histogram, box plots, and scatter plots. So those are the 5 things that we're going to learn how to plot. Okay, I leave you class to read the notes here. Okay, for example, here for candlesticks, you need the OHLCV representation. Okay, open, high, low, close, and volume. You don't need the adjusted price to create a candlestick. Okay, so let's now. Okay, we have loaded the GG. Oh no, sorry. Check if you have loaded ggplot2. Okay, so here sa packages, ggplot2, make sure that it's checked already, or use library. Performance analytics, you have done that. For reshape, if you don't have reshape, of course you know what to do. Install here, okay, or make use of the pacman package. I'll leave you class to. I'll give you a few seconds to make sure that these are loaded, and once you're done, kindly chat in the chat box, please, that you have loaded these packages. Thank you, Paula. Let's wait for the others. Okay, good. Alden, thank you. Kayan. Okay. Right, let's keep them coming, class. Okay, before I start, a few more seconds. Not even half of the class has responded. Okay, a few more seconds. How about the others, class? I don't think I got 50% response from you. Okay, I hope the others are able to follow. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so let's start first with uh, okay, we're going to use the chart series function of QuantMode. This is a very powerful package class. So let's open QuantMode here, and then let's take a look at the functions are here. Okay, under C, let's click this. Okay, you have candle chart, chart series. This is what we're going to use. Create financial charts. You can use candle chart. They're the same. Chart TA, technical analysis. Chart theme. Okay, we have here chart object, TA class, etc. So we have some functions here about the about charting, about creating plots, and we're going to use chart series. So if we click this class, okay, so chart series is a charting tool to create standard financial charts. Tama-tama sa atin, it's really for us, financial charts in the context of a time series. Okay, so this is very good for time series plotting. It serves as the base function for future technical analysis additions. I'm going to show you in a while that you can add technical analysis metrics. Okay, you can create candles, pixel chart bars, lines. This is very flexible. Here in chart series, X is the object that you're going to plot, and type is equal to, you can create the auto is a line, I think. Line, candlesticks, matchsticks, bars, and line. Okay, so those are the different types of plots that you can add, can plot. Technical analysis, you can add in your plots volume, or if you want MACD, moving average, convergence, divergence, you can add Bollinger Bands. There's a lot, class. There's a lot to add. So, okay, so that's the chart series function, class. If I go back, later on we'll go here. In A, class, in A, you have here class. You have here adding different types of technical analysis metrics. Add SMAI, stochastic momentum indicator. We can add MACD here. Moving average, convergence, divergence, okay, etc. So this one we can incorporate with chart series to add CCI, add Bollinger Bands class, etc. Okay, we look at that now. All right, so the first plot that we're going to do is, the first plot is this one. Let me just close the plots first. All right, here class. Chart series Apple. Okay, name is equal to Apple price chart. Theme is equal to white. And TA, technical analysis, is equal to null. Okay, we're not adding technical analysis yet. So this is Apple from 2020 to 2024, right? If we run this, okay, run this. Okay. So here you have a plot, and it's quite difficult to see class. You notice here that the period is from 2020 0102 up to 2024 1230. Okay, so it's quite a 5-year period class, so we can't really see the shape of the of the chart. Okay, were you able to generate this class? Kindly chat yes, please. Yes, if you were able to generate it. Okay, good. Okay, thank you. So let's move on, class. And all right, so what if we want class to plot only a portion? You control C. I don't think I gave this to you, class. Just copy it, class. And then let's see if we can plot the adjusted, only the adjusted. And then let's say, okay, this is wrong. Huh? Dito ako nagkamali kanina. We have to put here quotes and then quotes. All right, so let's take a look at this chart series. We're not going to plot all Apple, but just the adjusted price. And then only from, let's see, from 2024, January 1, say the whole year of 2024, January 1 to January 12, January 1 up to December 30. Okay, notice how I subsetted it. Okay, quotes, year, month, day, slash, year, month, day, slash, year, month, day, and then quotes, and then close brackets. Still the same name, Apple, let's say for 2024. Theme is equal to white. There are many themes, class. You can check the chart series. And then technical analysis is equal to null. Okay. Then when we run this class, okay. So we were now able to plot a subset of Apple. So this is just adjusted price from for the whole month, for the whole year of 2024. And the background is white. There are no technical analysis metrics here. Okay, and then the title, Apple price chart for 2024. Okay, so let's take a look at another plot. There's a function from ggplot2 called autoplot. Okay, when you plot using ggplot2, and ggplot2 is very powerful, what is required is that you should have a data frame. Now, however, class, yung mga objects natin, si Apple log returns quant mode. This is XTS object, no? Okay, this is an XTS object. So, hindi natin pwede magamit si ggplot2. Try natin, class, no? Try natin ggplot. So, can we do this, class? ggplot. Control Enter. Okay, tino yung class? Wala, no? Wala. Okay. So, if you're going to use an XTS object, we need to Control Z. We can use the autoplot class. Autoplot is part of ggplot2. So this is designed really to tackle XTS object. So let's run this class. Let's try this. And we're using the log returns of quant mode, using quant mode as Control Enter. And we can see, class, yung returns, no? This is the returns. And when we go to time series analysis, class, we're going to learn some things about this. Itong nature nito, ito. We'll notice that this time series display certain behavior. Okay. We have here some seemingly irregular spikes, and this is what we call, class, volatility clustering. Volatility clustering, cluster. And why does this happen, class? This happens when there are extraordinary events. Like for this one, class, 2020, start ng 2020, pandemic period to, di ba? This was during the pandemic. Okay, and also this one, during the pandemic. And what's happening here, class? Volatility clustering happens when prices go down and continuously go down. So it's a series of prices, in this case, returns, okay, data that's going down, continuously. Or it can be up, continuously. Okay, continuous going down and continuous going up. It's not the random type of up and down, but there's a distinct pattern of continuously going down or continuously going up. So that's what happens when we have volatility clustering. And later on, we will have some sessions about how do we model this. Okay, modeling time series. So that's part of our lesson. Although in another subject, it's also discussed, FinArts. But in FinArts, it's more in-depth. In FinLits, it's more a general discussion. Okay. Volatility clustering is very important, class, when you're studying also volatility spillover. What is volatility spillover? It's when you try to study whether this clustering here will affect other assets. Okay, this is Apple. Will volatility clustering in Apple affect Microsoft? That's a very important question. So that's seen by doing volatility spillover analysis. Okay, so when you look at the effects of clustering, volatility clustering in one asset and its effect on another asset. Okay, so let me clear drawings first here. Okay, so this is a simple. Here we plotted only one data class, only one. This is univariate class. This one, on the other hand, this is OHLC data, diba? So you can plot using chart series OHLC data. You can also plot using chart series for this is already univariate, no? Because this is only adjusted, and it's even subsetted, no? For just 1 month. Okay, so let's move on, class. You can okay. All right, here. For this one, class, what we did here was to, okay, ang ginawa namin dito is just create a subset. Okay, let me, let's create this class. Control C, Control V, Alt minus. No, sorry. No, we did not subset here. So here I'm creating another way class. You can subset or you can just create another object. So here I'm, this is supposed to be first, hindi nga returns pa to eh. These are prices class, sorry. Let's change this. I'll just share this with you. Apple 2024 December, you got this. So Apple 2024 December, and then we create the Apple log returns. Okay, I'll just remove this. And then, okay, it's okay. We're creating a univariate object data here. I'll just share this with you so that we save on time. Control C, Control D. Okay, and what are we doing here? I created an object, okay, Apple, and this is only 1 month object. But also that assign is equal to false because we're going to create this object. So let's run this class and view it. Tama ba yun? Yeah, sumobra class. Sobra class yung underscore ko pakibawasan. Kindly reduce the underscore. I think I have typed twice. Okay, let's run this class. Control Enter. And it will print now the Apple 2024 December here. So it's still OHLC, but for 1 month. And then we'll just get this. We'll just extract that Apple adjusted here. Okay. Apple log returns. This is wrong. So, bakit log returns na? Okay, class. My mistake, class. Let's change, class. So this is just adjusted. I'm sorry, class. I'm sorry. This is just Apple 24 December adjusted. Okay, so this should be adjusted, right? Okay. And then I'm going to copy this. Okay. And then view. Apple 2024 December adjusted. Okay. And then we'll create the returns Apple 2024 December log returns. Getting so long, Alt minus. Then we'll just use daily return there. Daily return of our object, which is this one. Control C, Control V, then type is equal to log. Okay, I'm sorry about that, class. So here's the corrected code. Okay. All right, first we create this object, which is only for the month of December, but this is still OHLC, open, high, low, close. And then we get the adjusted, we subset the adjusted, and then we get the returns using daily returns, Apple 2024 adjusted, and then type is equal to log. So is there a double here? Ito yata yung I can't find. I'm seeing Anyway. Okay, so let me run this class. Okay, this is your data. Okay, so we already and then the returns is Apple. Okay, so we now have the log returns, right? Using QuantMo daily return. And you can guess that the first observation there, the first row will be 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. And then let's now, this one class will not return the candlestick. Okay, here. Okay, let's first plot this. Why did we get this? Sige, Control Alt I. Plot na lang natin class. And then let's just follow see. This is XTS object. Control C. Control V. So I'm going to replace this one with Control C. This one. Autoplot. Okay. For 2024. For this is December 2024. Just fix the label because this is December 2024 data, right? Okay. So let's run this. I'm using autoplot class because this is an XS object. And you can see here that you can see the behavior of the returns going up, down, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, but we're not seeing here some clustering. Okay, going down, 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 and or up, 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 up. You can inspect the class. Try to check the beginning of the 2020 year 2020. Okay, now let's go here to plot a candlestick. So far we have seen how this is a line plot class. How about the candlestick class, OHLC? We need OHLC data. So we'll have to make use of the Apple dataset class or small AAPL or any other dataset with open, high, low, close. Otherwise, we won't be able to see the candlestick because the candlestick needs opening, high, low, and closing prices. Okay, so here I'm subsetting Apple. I'm just subsetting the whole month of December. Remember the Apple class starts with 2020 and ends with 2024. I'll just get 1 month. So how do you subset? Apple and then brackets, quotes, 2024 1201 slash 2024 1230. That's how you subset. Type is equal to candlesticks, and then let's give it a name, Apple 2024 December candlestick chart. Theme is equal to white. We haven't done this, okay? Technical analysis is equal to null. So let's run this. Okay, now you have the candlestick. Okay, so just a quick discussion of the candlestick in case you haven't discussed this in your other subject. A candlestick is a visual representation of how your stock opened, the highest price, the lowest price, and the closing. You can also actually also include the volume, but that will fall here, class, in the technical analysis. All right. So you notice that each candlestick, or at least most of them, have this wicker and the candle and the color. So let's take a look at this class. It's green. So the green color indicates that the closing price is greater than the opening price. So what does that mean? The price increased. Within the day, the price increased. Because the closing price, let's say the opening price is 100 and the closing price is 102, then that means the price within the day increased. And that will be a colored green. Okay? That will be a colored green. And what's this, class? What's this? If you take a look at the here, the whisker, class, this is the lowest. Okay. This one, on the other hand, this is the highest. Okay. And since this is green, class, it means that in the candle, class, the bottom portion is your opening. The higher one is your closing. Why? Because uh, this is green. We know that the price intraday increased. So the closing will be here, class, above the opening. Okay. If on the other hand, it's colored red or orange like this, then the closing will be below here and the opening will be on top here, the highest point there, the line plus. Okay. So that indicates that the that the opening is greater than the closing. Or the closing is less than the opening, which means that the price fell and it's colored red. And also we have here the highest and lowest. Now sometimes you'll only have this. Suppose this is red, colored red. What does this mean? This now is your closing. This one is your opening. It's colored red, which means that the opening is greater than your closing. And we don't have any whisker here. None. That also means that this is your lowest price. And this is your what class? Lowest and highest. There. Okay. Sometimes there could be a wick here. Okay, which means that this is the highest. This is the lowest. Because there's nothing here. Okay, so that's a candlestick class, and it's easily done in R using quant mode, using the chart series function. Okay, just remember that you have to include here, class. Okay, an OHLC object. Suppose we replace this class with. Okay, I'll just copy this out. Control C. Okay, comment it out. And then I'll replace this class with, okay, let's say Apple, and then just adjusted. Apple adjusted. Okay, so you see now, class, that we are asking R to create an OHLC plot, a candlestick for Apple adjusted. However, Apple adjusted, class, is just one. Diba? One value lang yan. That's the adjusted price. And then it's not the open, it's not the whole highest, lowest, close, no? Hindi siya. So if I run this, class, what happens? Okay, it will just give you the line. Okay, it will just give you the line. Even if you type here, type is equal to candlesticks. Might as well put here type is equal to line. Okay, because that's the right one. Why? Because it cannot generate a candlestick because it does not have the OHLC. Okay, right. Control Z. Balik ko na lang. No? Okay, there you go. So let's go here, class. Okay, any questions, by the way, class? Kindly chat in the chat box. Are you able to follow, class? Please chat. Paki-confirm, class, if you were able to follow. Good, thank you. 6, 7, not even 1/3. Okay, I'll give your classmates a few more minutes. I hope 15 are able to at least say that they're able to follow. We only have 8. So what happened to the others? Either you're not following or worse, you're not listening. Good if you're not able to follow because I'm so fast. The remedy there is for you to clarify. Okay. All right. Still 1/3. Let's give a few more seconds to your classmates. I want to see at least 50% of you able to say that you're able to follow the discussion. Okay, looks like we're stuck at 11. So I'm wondering what happened to the other 18, 19. So sometimes, class, I'm tempted to check attendance again. And oftentimes, I catch people just exiting. So nagpapa-attendance lang ba? Pero that's really a very, very bad uh, uh, behavior. Kasi sayang you're paying tuition to attend classes, to learn. Okay. I just hope that our subject has a value to you. Okay. I hope. No? I hope. Okay. So let's move on, class. Here, let's plot the same thing, class. The same. Ano, I'm increasing the width. Okay. Let's make it maybe 10, 11, 12. Yeah. 1/4. Yeah. Maybe 1/4 is enough. October 1 up to December 30. Okay, this is quarter 4. Quarter 4 candlestick chart. Okay, and what's different here is that hindi na TA is equal to null. Let's now let's say, add volume. Okay, and then please put the quotes here first. Add volume, open and close parenthesis, semicolon. Add MACD, moving average, convergence, divergence, semicolon. Add Bollinger Bands. Okay, we're not going to study now the meaning of this. But may I ask you, class, did you meet this concepts class, this technical analysis metrics before in your other subjects? Waiting again for your chat. No? Okay. Thank you, Moses. No? Okay. Others, class, please? No? Okay. Perhaps we're going to, this is not actually part of our coverage, but we will, I think I'll include, sa iba meron, no? Okay, thank you, Jolene. Where did you have this? What subject?
Sir, yung term na Bollinger Bands lang ba or mismong coding?
MACD had yung at least yung Bollinger Bands lang. Bollinger Bands.
I forgot, sir, kung anong name nung subject, pero si Sir Tyrone Chan Chao
Sa
yung
investments yung siguro, no?
nag-post.
Okay, sa investments. Okay, or capital markets maybe.
Yes,
All right.
nakalimutan ko yung name nung
But
subject.
how to create it? Wala. Like this one.
Wala, sir, wala.
Wala.
Parang
Okay.
tinuro lang sa amin how to read it.
Okay, so good. Sige. In this subject, we're not going so much to pay attention to the reading, but rather to the creating. I leave you, class, to learn how to interpret, for example, MACD volume. Class. This is just the volume of stocks traded. Bollinger Bands, for example. But if we plot this, okay, let's plot this, and you'll see what happens to our chart series. It will include this technical analysis technical analysis tools like this class. See? Ito yung volume class, volume of stock traded. Okay. Of course, if you don't have the OHLC object, open, high, low, close volume, then you will not be able to plot this. Okay. Then we have here the MACD and also the Bollinger Bands. You have, remember I showed you, class, several TA metrics here, and some of them you can put here. So, and take a look at that, class. Very easy lang, no? Okay. You just, the point now is to understand. Okay. How do you interpret now the Bollinger Bands? If you add, for example, volatility, how will you interpret that? Okay. But you have here already the fundamentals on how to generate your chart using this one. And you can research on, of course, class, it's best to expand. Because if it's only 1 month, then you'll not be able to create Bollinger Bands. Okay, so you have to expand the, if I expand this class, let's say, for the whole year, 0101, let's see what happens. Okay, you can see now a longer line for the Bollinger Bands. It needs X days, class, in order to compute. Notice that there are no Bollinger Bands here. It starts after X number of days, so you can check that, class. Itong MACD, no? MACD, it's supposed to tell us when your returns changes direction, okay, etc. All right, so that's good. We were able to at least take a look at the technical analysis aspect. Okay, so this one, class, adjusted. Okay, type is equal to auto, and then subset. You can use this, class. Instead of this, you can also use subset is equal to last 3 months. If I plot this, what will be auto, class? Auto will also be a line. Okay? And take note of the default, class. Diba? Ang default, ang theme niya black. Hindi natin nilagay theme is equal to white. We didn't put theme is equal to white. And you can see here that the theme is actually black. So if I remove this, for example, I'll just comment this out, class. Asterisk, comment. Let's see what happens. Okay, take a look at the default, class, there. Okay, so this is your Bollinger Bands. Okay. This is your MACD, moving average, convergence, divergence, and this is your volume. All right, so good. Okay, now let's go, class, to the normal, the usual plots. Okay, we'll have your histogram, you'll have your box plot, you have your also correlation. What's the name for that? Sorry, scatter plot. Okay, scatter plot. All right, so let's go here, class. Let's first start with histogram. Okay, histogram is very simple. Okay, so we're going to use this time just the simple function hist for histogram, but this will not work, class. The hist will not work on XTS object. You need to have a numerical vector. That's why here we're creating this numerical vector. Apples returns numeric, and as that numeric, Apple returns quant mode. This is, remember, this is XTS object. Okay, and this XTS object we're going to convert into a numeric data and call it Apple returns numeric. Could you run this, please, and tell me where in the environment do you see Apple returns numeric? Where do you find it in the environment? Okay. Values, yes, thank you. How about the others? I hope you saw it in values. Thank you. Aiden, you're correct. It's values. Thank you, Paula. Yeah, you're correct. It's values, class, because this is now, it's not an XTS object. It's not a data frame. It's not a list. it's a vector. Okay, only one set of objects, all numbers, then it's a vector. And that's what you need if you're going to create a histogram. So take a look at this class. Okay, let me just okay. This is the object that we're creating. Breaks is equal to 50. It means you're grouping your data into 50s. Okay, breaks is equal to 50s. Color is equal to sky blue. Border is equal to white. The main plot is called histogram of apple. X-axis label, and then not the frequency. Frequency is equal to false. And then we're going to superimpose this. Okay, this will now create a curve. Okay, a normal distribution curve. Okay, the mean is the mean of apple returns numeric. The standard deviation is the standard deviation of apple returns numeric. And then the legend is on the top right. Okay, the legend also is equal to apple returns normal distribution. Color is equal to sky blue. And then there are some formatting here. And the line type is equal to 1. The line width is equal to 2. And then plot character 22. Okay. And then how do you center the data? 0.8. And then background is equal to white. The rest class, I'll leave you to explore. Okay. Because the best way to learn plotting in R is to, of course, get to the function itself, like this one, hist. You go here, class, sa help function, and then curve, no? Okay? And then also the legend. You learn a lot of things there. Okay, for now, let's just I'll run this, converting into numeric, and then plotting. Okay, and then you can now see that you have a histogram. Superimposed is the curve. There you go. Okay? So you can see here that may mga ano tayo dito, no? May mga values, may mga parang may mga outliers tayo sa ano natin, sa data natin because of this long line here. Okay? So pause for a while. How many of you were able to plot the histogram? Okay, good. Good. Of course, class, sa case nyo, I expect you to apply this, no? Sa data nyo. But that's why you have to have data. Okay? A sample data. Okay, related to your topic, I hope, no? I hope. All right? So how about, class, a box plot? A box plot is a lot easier. So box plot, the same object, apple returns numeric. Just give a title and the label of the y-axis. Box plot, let's run this. Okay, then let's see if I can. Okay. So you can see here, I'll not review, class, what a box plot is, of course, class. You have to try to recall what's the IQR, interquartile range. Okay, what does this mean? How about this? Is this P25? Is this P75? How about this, class? What's this? And take note, take a look at the outliers. Outliers. No wonder your normal distribution, your distribution, okay, that explains that, class. You have a long tail here, there, here also, and that's explained by this one. You have values here in the tails. Below, here, this is longer, here, as the box plot depicts. All right? Okay. In your case, class, if you're going to plot, I don't like just to see the plot. You have to have a little explanation. Of course, I don't expect a very let's say, comprehensive explanation of your plots. At least the practice is you have the plot there. Do not leave that as a figure. Don't leave that as hanging. Let's say you have to put figure numbers, class. Say figure number 1. So what is there that figure there for? Why did you put that? You have to have a little explanation. Okay, just reminding class. Okay, let's now go to scatter plot. So for scatter plot class, we need to have 2. Okay, we need to have 2 uh, quantitative continuous variables. Okay, we have already our numeric apple. So let's do that also for Microsoft. Okay, we'll have a relationship plot or a scatter plot. So get symbols Microsoft. Let's put the same date 20/01/01 2024/12. Auto.assign is equal to true. Okay, so I'll run this. And then we get the we get the returns class. We get the returns. We get the adjusted value first. MSFT adjusted is MFT and MSFT dollar adjusted. Let's run this. And then let's compute for the log returns here. Is equal to na.omit. Okay, one thing with na.omit done with daily returns class, hindi niya tinatanggal, no? Why isn't it removed? Why will it not remove the first row 000? Because it's not reflected as NA. It's reflected as 0. So nothing will happen here, class. Even if we do na.omit daily return. If we do na.omit, then performance, then return that calculate, then matatanggal yung first row, class. Okay, but be very careful because we're going to combine si Apple at saka si Microsoft, no? Ang ginamit, what we're using for Apple is the quant mode, where it has a 0 value at the start. Then that's the type that we should also be using for Microsoft, so that it will have a pair. It will balance. It will be a 1:1 pairing with Apple. Otherwise, class, you'll not be able to generate a scatter plot because one data is one less than the other. Okay, so that's, I hope you got that, class. So here, even if I use na.omit, the daily returns will still be the same. Okay, so I hope you have run this. And then I'll run this now. Microsoft log returns, let me see. Here in the environment, or I can just type here view. Okay, MSFT underscore, still not showing, log underscore returns. It didn't show. Microsoft log returns. Okay, just making sure, class. Control enter. Okay, so we now have, as expected, daily return may 0 dito. Okay, and even use na.omit, it will not delete this because na.omit class only removes if it's NA. Okay, 1257, just the same as quant mode. 1257. All right. So just be sure that when you're creating a scatter plot, you have the same number of observations. Now we're going to combine this, class. So we're creating this object combined returns, and then we're going to merge. We're going to use the function merge. This is coming also from, I think, dplyr. Okay, and we're going to merge Apple log returns, quant mode, MSFT log returns. Okay, and then here, all is equal to false. What does that mean? It means, class, that when you combine this, only those dates that are present in both will be included. Okay, suppose for Apple there's no February 8, for example. There's no February 8, but in Microsoft, there is February 8. So what will happen is that February 8 will be removed, okay, because it's not common. It's not common. By the way, class, before I run this, let me just have a quick discussion of this. Okay, this is very important. Now, it just so happened here, class, that this is not really NA. But what about if this is NA, what do you do? Okay, we know that if we, let's say, compute for the mean of this or standard deviation, this will not run because of the presence of NA. Okay, maybe there's another NA here. What do we do? Okay, R will tell you that there's an error because it will not tell you there's an NA, but most probably, if it generates an error, if you're getting the standard deviation, the variance, then one of the causes could be there's an NA. So you'll have to check if there's an NA. Now, if there's an NA, what do we do? Do we just automatically delete these rows? Okay, now we use NA.omit a while ago because this was only one observation class. And no matter what we do, class, unless we have the previous data, we will not be able to get the log returns of this one, class. So in that case, we can just remove the first observation. You have 1257 observations, just removing one, okay, will not make so much of a dent. Okay, but how about, class, if you have lesser data and then there are several NAs? There are several NAs in your data. The last thing to do is to remove the NAs, class. Okay, you have to investigate further because if this is a time series, it is possible, class, to perform what we call an imputation. Imputation means, class, to assign values, to impute a value to your missing values. And there are many ways to do that. One imputation can be get the median of this and replace all your NAs with the median or the mean. That's one way. Another way, class, in time series is do what we call the LOCF. What is LOCF? Last observation carried forward. Okay, what does that mean? Suppose this is NA, class, NA. And this could be stock prices or returns. NA siya, class, maybe because there was no trading on this day. So what do we do? Do we remove? No, that should be the last thing to do. What you can do is, one way is last observation carried forward. Since there's no value here because maybe there was no trading, then we can impute that the returns here or the price here should be carried on to this specific date with no NA. Okay, so if you have several missing NAs like that, and they're not really that continuous, okay, you can use LOCF. Okay, we'll discuss that when we go to time series. But this is one way to impute, and this is one of the most popular way to impute data to your missing values. Okay. All right, time check. Oh no. Okay. This one, class. All right. So we merge the two objects, Apple log returns, quant mode, and MSFT. Notice that we can do this because they're both XTS combined. And then, so this is now our combined, where's our combined returns? Print. Okay. Daily returns were not a good column name. So we give it a column name here. Column names, combined returns, Apple returns, and Microsoft. We know that this is Apple first because here in merge, okay, we identified Apple first. Control Enter, run this, and then check our combined returns. Okay, there you go, Apple returns, Microsoft returns. Okay, although they both have 0 there. Okay, no problem, it's not NA. But technically, it's not correct, okay? All right, so let's now plot this class. We'll plot a scatter plot using ggplot. Take a look at how ggplot We don't have, of course, all the time in the world to check the syntax of ggplot2, but it will be well worth your time, class, to study ggplot. Okay, so first you identify the object. Okay, however, ggplot, as we showed a while ago, will not work with XTS object. This is an XTS object class because we're merging two XTS object. Okay, just check, class. There you go. XX pa rin yan. Okay, you're combining or merging two XS object. It will still be XS. If you need to go, class, I'll just finish this. Konti ano na lang. And then you identify the name of your x-axis and the y-axis. Jayong Pine class will be the plot, the points. And then we can include a line. The line is your linear model, class. That's your regression model here. And then title, okay, theme minimal. So let's run this. And you now have a scatter plot of your MS returns and your Apple returns. There you go. Okay, and this is your Geom Smooth here. That's the LM. This is your scatter plot. Okay, you can see that the Microsoft returns is highly correlated with your Apple returns. Let's compute that here. Core gives us the correlation class. Correlation between Apple returns and Microsoft returns. And then let's print this. There. 0.7509. That's a correlation, quite high. All right. So let me stop there, class. Next meeting, tomorrow, class, I hope you can attend. We will go into portfolio risk and return here. It will now be portfolios, class, because what we have discussed so far are just univariate. Now we'll take a look at several assets at the same time. Okay. So thank you so much, class. I hope you learned. Stop recording.